So I watched New Mexico, Kansas State, Utah, BYU, and Houston. We will get into the lists of strengths and weaknesses at the end of the review. Starting off, I think quite a few of the first plays are pretty good for McMillan, even though this one's actually really I don't believe it is. He's to the top. He's at the bottom of the numbers right here. Really not a lot of room to the sideline for a vertical route. Now he does run a vertical route. He runs like it's more of a shuffle release where he's working laterally. The only thing NFL level, you're going to laterally release like that. There's a lot of guys who are going to get a shuffle in right here and then squeeze you to the sideline and the play is over. Now, let's be real here. He doesn't chop. There is no wiping of the hand of this. I watched it multiple times. His right hand doesn't do anything. He's just in stride right now. Really the corner just gets eaten by the turf monster. Left foot's a little bit too far to the inside, and he just falls down on McMillan. McMillan ends up getting like a 70-yard open touchdown because of it. The thing I will say is, again, a shuffle release at the bottom of the numbers when you're tight to the sideline like that can be very sketchy, because you're closing off ground right there. There's only 3 yards to work with laterally before you're completely squeezed off to the sideline. Again, if there's a play where this defender punches his left hand on him, and then McMillan wipes the hand away and he falls down. Okay, more impressive than him just falling down. It's the first play, one of the first plays I saw. Obviously, 70-yard touchdown. I want to recap why. Um, Choppy at the end there, but it's because of the guy. The defender uh, catches the turf, and falls down. Um, we have McMillan, TD, lean, drive, hands catch. Okay. So just in terms of the route, so good, good second half of it. Obviously, touchdown, good result, all this stuff. But we're known on this channel to be a little bit more nitpicky with stuff. The two things I will criticize with this route is one, you want to see a little bit more from the drive phase. He's really not coming off of the ball super fast there. And DBs are going to read that, and obviously the more you sell getting vertical faster, the more they're going to panic, get onto to their heels, etc. So I want to see a little bit more from the drive phase there. And then also secondarily, in terms of the break, so he's just running a speed out. The one thing I don't love about this route is you see how his left foot comes to the inside right there and he starts to lean before he actually breaks. That's tipping the DB off to your route before you even need to. You want to keep that more in your normal stride and then break to the outside on the right foot. You don't want to start leaning into your break before you get there. Again, NFL DBs are going to read the hips. They're going to see this movement, and even this guy you see obviously starts to drive to the outside. So you're tipping your route off earlier than you should. NFL level, it may not work. College level obviously gets away with it here. Nonetheless, first half of the route, do not love it. Don't love it. Second part of the route, I do. Quarterback throws it in, a little bit more inside. Obviously, at this point, you should be leading him to the sideline. Nonetheless, the ball is inside. He then attacks the ball. That's one thing that McMillan is definitely, or he's good at, quite a few things. But specifically, him attacking the ball is good. His hands are good. Obviously, his contested catchability is very good. But comes back to the ball, attacks it, seemingly tight hands, turns upfield, touchdown. So two early touchdowns in this game. Again, want more from the drive phase. Do his shoulders come up early? His shoulders come up pretty early too. Like right now, you're selling it more with your head down. When your shoulders come up like this, you're tipping the DB off to, hey, break is coming. Then you lean into it. There's a lot of tip offs right there to a good DB. Again, gets away with it at this level, but NFL level, unless you're playing a bad DB, probably not a catch. Nonetheless, next play, McMillan, deep sit, snag, drive phase, I guess, and a push off. So he's right here in the slot against this DB and off coverage. Let's watch it. Again, not much from the drive phase, right? Like you're not getting much acceleration there. You're not getting much threatening deep of the DB. So DBs are really going to sit on him on this in the NFL level. But what do I do like? It's again more of the secondary part of the route. It's the break. Even though the break there are some wasted steps. What I do like is the fact that he gets his hand on right here, pushes off, and then sits down. Now you want him to snap down a little bit harder on it. There is quite a bit of like wasted movement right there. Like he starts his break, at the 35 and then ends up actually working back to the ball at the 40. So you do want to see him sit down a little bit harder on it. Now, things you have to think about is okay, he's 6'4", 6'5". It's going to be he's not going to look like a 5'8" receiver, 5'9", 5'10", 6 foot receiver. So you have to think about those things when you're evaluating guys in terms of their breaks, but still, 5 yards of kind of dead time on that. You want to snap down, a little bit harder than that. A little bit of a lag at the top. Drive phase isn't good. The good part of it is one again, the push off, and then two, something he's consistently doing is he's working back to the ball. He's not allowing the DB to get on his hips and play that ball. You don't want to just sit there. You want to attack it. It's actually one of the things that Garrett Wilson struggles with at the NFL level. He lets balls get into his chest too much. He doesn't work back to the ball, and guys will play the ball and get deflections on him. So you want to see actually Garrett Wilson improve on that. But nonetheless, we have route pacing and push off. He's at the bottom right here. Let's watch it. Okay, so two two things here. One, I like the idea of the route pacing here, where you're going, and what he's doing right here is he's lulling him to sleep a little bit. He's driving at him with a slowed pace, and what he's trying to do is slowed pace, hard step to the outside, and acceleration right here, and that's getting the DB to lull him to sleep, lull him to sleep. Now he works to the outside on the stem at an accelerated pace. DB's thinking, oh crap, he stemmed me slowly to the inside to then break hard to the outside on a vertical. Then the DB is going to start getting vertically quickly. Now he pushes off, snaps down on the comeback. And if the ball were to be thrown to him there with good timing, he wins that route. So I like the idea of it. Now, with that being said, do I want a little bit more from the drive phase there to sell it at least a little bit more? Yeah, it's a tiny bit too slow there. It seems like he's running at maybe 50% speed. You probably really want closer to 75 when he snapped it to the outside, 90, then push off. Just a little bit too slow off the jump. Now, the idea of the route pacing, slow, stem to outside break, fast to then push off is good. Like we're gonna take the that's more of a positive than a negative for sure. Obviously, again, you guys obviously know at this point I'm more nitpicky than most, but I think it matters when you're evaluating players. So I would pick up the pace a little bit at the top there, or at the beginning of the route drive phase. Top of the screen right here, attacking leverage. So DB inside, I'm assuming it's going to be some type of out route vertical. He's going to attack the leverage. And actually, I don't know. I think this one's actually a little bit wonky. Yeah, again, I'm not just watching targets or anything like that. I'm watching every rep of these guys, and the DB does get definitely caught looking inside there. It seems like he's staring at the quarterback for quite a bit, but McMillan does a good job of playing with his route stem because right now, right off the jump, he's stemming the DB to the inside. So the DB reacts to that. He's now stemming. He now shuffles to the inside as well. Then McMillan breaks more vertical to the outside. So now the DB's thinking, oh crap, he stemmed me inside to get outside on me. So now the DB opens up outside. Boom, he breaks back inside. It's a good stem to again just confuse the DB. You don't want to always just be so simple. Stemming towards him and then stem outside again, obviously faked him out. Now he does have the benefit of this DB clearly looking at the quarterback quite a bit too long there, but I definitely like the stem from there and how he plays with it like that. Again, he's not targeted there, but the stem was good, and that's important to again just look at if he's getting open. Even on plays he's not targeted, it's not a touchdown, whatever it may be. Uh, McMillan long touchdown scramble drill, find space. He's right here in the slot. Yeah, so nothing. So he's running another deep sit. Right, coming off the ball again. I want to see a little bit more from his drive phase. He's not the quickest guy in the world, but I know he has more speed than that. I want to see a little bit more threatening guys. Now he sits it down, looks back at the quarterback, obviously sees the quarterback not throwing the ball, sees the defender in his peripheral vision to his left, cutting across his face. What is he not going to do? He's not just going to sit there and let himself be covered. Moves where the defender's not, moves to open grass. Quarterback reads him, sees that, and throws him the ball. Enough speed to get to the sideline, and get the touchdown. Again, a little bit more from the drive phase, but the scramble drill is awesome here. It's a very quick reaction to see the quarterback not throwing the ball, noticing how the defender is reacting, and then getting to the outside like that into the open grass. Good job also running through the catch right here, not slowing down, catching it on the move, working up the field for that touchdown. Okay. Um, sideline catch, push off, on the initial route. I recorded it clearly, second too late. He's right here to the top. Scramble drill again. He gets vertical. Catch. Hopefully the catch isn't so. Yeah, the catch isn't so laggy. There at first it was. Push off right there. Open himself up to the sideline. Sideline awareness. Hands catch. Good job. Obviously, really good job there on the scramble drill. Right now, the initial route not great in terms of the technique there. One, it's not terrible. Like he's not sitting so far back onto his heels, but we really want to sink over like our chest over our knee as much as we possibly can. Like you literally want to knee yourself in the face when you're running back breaking routes like this. And you want commitment, right? So the first step, a little bit shallow. He's not over top of it, not fully committed to the second step. So what do we have? We have stop, stop, pivot, break. You can see how first step is okay, it's straight. You can see the second step he doesn't fully commit to when he's starting to turn out of it. You really want to commit to both of your stop steps. When your first stop step, okay, like not great. He wants to be more over top of it. Also have to acknowledge the height he has, so it's going to look a little bit different with taller receivers. Still want to see more commitment to it. First step's not overly bad. Second step's bad. You don't want to start looking. You don't want to start looking out of your break before you're actually out of it. You want to slam, be over top of both of those feet, and then pivot with the left, and then break with the right, like break back to the ball. He starts to pivot on the right foot, and it's not what you want to do. It's stop, stop, pivot with the left, and then break back. So you can see there's dead time at the top of that route. A little bit of dead time, want more commitment to the second stop step instead of pivoting. Sees the quarterback not throwing the ball and in some trouble, gets vertical. A little bit of a push off. Again, really good sideline awareness. I think there's a push off. Again, obviously this is really far and kind of hard to tell exactly what happens. It looks like just based on the defender's body movement, it looks like he gets pushed, which is fine if it's not called. Toe tap, hell of a catch. He's good at tracking the ball. He's got good hands, all of that. Um, Easy yak touchdown for McMillan in the slot right here. Okay, just running it over. Stem to the outside. We like the initial stem. Why? Just opening himself up to the inside, right? Heads up with him. Stem to the outside. Gets him obviously to start to work to the outside. Snaps it off to the inside. DB turf monster again. He's targeted. Good. Now he's good with yak for sure. So he takes it. He goes to take it vertical. And I think he just knows that, hey, I'm not going to outrace these DBs. I don't have the best speed, so I'm going to undercut him. Undercuts him. Gives him a more advantageous angle. Runs in for a touchdown. Yak. Okay. He is in the slot right here to the bottom, to the field side. Okay, another outside stem. Yep, outside stem versus DB who's heads up. Gets the DB to shuffle to the outside. Easy catch to the inside. It's plenty of space. Right? Like this is too much space. Too much space. Especially when you're shuffling to the outside. You're asking to get beat to the inside. Catch. Again, another situation where he's definitely good with yak, noticing angles, things like that. Catches the ball. Again, DB is clearly over top of him, and he's not going to be able to outrun him there. So high angle, undercut him, club him. Another DB coming, high angle, undercut him. Avoids some trash at his feet right there. Feels him going to dive. Leaps to lighten his legs. Drives in for the touchdown. I think he reaches for it, let's say. Yep, dive, reaches out, crosses the plane. Good extension, keeping those knees off the ground. McMillan push off attack ball. He's to the top right here, believe. Yeah. I definitely like the hands. I definitely like the way he attacks the ball. Quick tuck right there. This is a good play. Then opens up to the outside. Just a speed release. There's nothing to it. A little bit of a gather step with the back foot. Would like to see a little bit more knee bend prior to the snap. Nonetheless, send him to the outside. Get him to open up. I like the slow to release into the hard drive phase. So I like the pacing of this route in terms of again slow play it, race to the outside, getting the DB to think, oh shit, he's going vertical on me. Place the hand on, push off, snap down on the back breaking route, work back to the ball, hands catch tuck. That's a good play. In terms of the break, you got stop, stop. Three step, maybe you should have made it four. Nonetheless, attacking the ball, quick tuck. I like it. I like the push off. I like these slow to release into fast pace drive phase. That's a good play. McMillan worked back the ball on the release. Okay, we got him to the bottom, I believe. And not really so much there from him in terms of the release. We have a speed release to the outside. DB opens up immediately instead of getting a shuffle off, gives him the outside leverage, chops down on the hand. I like the hand fighting there. I like the hand fighting. Yeah, I want to see him commit more to the stop steps. Like there's times where he's using three steps where I'm when I'm use four. Stop, pivot, break. Okay, it's a three step. He actually gets out of it decently well. Stop. He gets that pivot nice and horizontal. That pivot step you want to work off the instep. So you want to get that turn that left foot right there. You want to get it as turned as much as you possibly can to work off the instep. He does get it um, pretty horizontal. Drive off the instep of that right foot too to break back to the ball again and work back to the quarterback. It's exactly what he does. There's not a lot of dead time in terms of him just sitting there and waiting for the ball. If he's not getting the ball, he's gonna start running back to the quarterback, which I love. Shuffle release top slot. Okay, top slot. He's gonna give him some shuffles to the outsider here, break to the inside most likely. Okay, he actually works to the. What is that DB doing? I'll be transparent here. That's some of the worst footwork I've ever seen from a defensive back. It's just I don't know what he's doing with the feet are terrible there. Nonetheless, shuffle release, one shuffle, two shuffle. And really, it's like a delayed release. You're trying to square him up. You're trying to get him to shuffle with you. I'm assuming if the DB were to shuffle with him outside, he probably pushes to the inside shoulder. DB sat so heavy inside, he just released to the outside right here. The DB's footwork is gross. He takes off vertically, breaks to the inside. Now I don't know if there's a miscommunication there, whatever it may be. Maybe the DB, maybe it's more of a bender. Yeah, that would make sense for how McMillan breaks it. It looks like he's supposed to maybe just continue up the sideline. He breaks it to the inside. Quarterback was expecting him to continue vertically to the sideline. He doesn't. He doesn't. Ball is, where the quarterback thinks he's going to be. He's not there. Um, McMillan contested to the bottom, I believe. Again, you want like the shoulders are down, shoulders are up. Down, shoulders come up. He's just not overly fast, really. He's a long strider. Like I don't think he's slow, but he's definitely not fast. He's more smooth and yeah, he's more smooth than fast or quick for sure. We like the hand fighting there, right? Right, like the hand fighting, looking back to the ball, keeping extension with the left arm, keeping extension with the left arm. Don't let him close down your body. Obviously, they're literally holding hands, tracking the ball. Want to see him attack it a little bit later, tiny bit later. And obviously we want hands versus body, but he created enough room where he's fine. But ideally, obviously, we get over hands, we attack the ball instead of letting it kind of fall into our chest. But still, we'll take it. We like the fact that he's um, winning a contested catch down the field like that, right? McMillan bottom throw by attack and yak. Here we go. Again, definitely like okay. We got the outside release. DB opens the gate immediately, doesn't get a shuffle in, so he's not having to fight through contact.